today is about a conversation with you about us and how we can help you. Tell us about the things that you're looking at, the things you're doing, the things you're developing. Because we're interested, because we want to know what's out there so we can inform our own decision making rather better. You've seen the way the consumer expectation is much more driving your operations than it has in the past. And that's not just in terms of technology, but that's in terms of the whole societal interaction. Exposure, transparency. Just take something really simple. Comparison websites. Not the world's most exciting thing, perhaps, but think what that means in terms of transparency compared to the way you used to have to go out and get information. And think how more and more information can be fed into that. And that is the expectation that the consumer now has. And if the consumer doesn't get that, and it's not relatively personalised to their address, their behaviours, their interests, then they will walk away. We do 6 weekly updates of our addressing data. You will get that as a nice big lump, a number you do, and have to load it into systems. Actually, why? Surely the expectation is always connected. We are thinking very, very hard about what sources we seek, because we are, after all, a data aggregator, collector and aggregator. That's what we do. That's the day job. And above all, how do we manage it? You can find the data. You can usually get it in the building. What do you do with it then? How do you bring it together to create meaning? So, yes, that's big data, but the acceleration of sensors, of information that we're all pumping out all the time is a huge challenge. We have to manage that data. We've got to rethink in-house about how we structure our databases to cope with that, how we structure the information out to you to be meaningful so you don't have to face that complexity. It's a big challenge for us. I'm sure it's going to be a challenge for all of you. And in response to that, let's not all manage the same data over and over and over again. Cloud services, my IS colleagues here are always a little cynical. Cloud services, just a large number of servers that are connected together. It's not that sexy. Well, no, it's not. But the sheer power it delivers is phenomenal. Most of us have built our models and our businesses on the fact that the economies grow. Some will argue that with our population changes, etc., we're beginning to plateau out. They look at examples like Japan, like Italy, look at the demographics and start to say, actually, yes, we're recovering from recession, but will we recover? Is this a step change? Some of the work we've done that you'll see, like ResilienceDirect, actually comes out of that government austerity. They can't afford to do things the way they've always done. They're looking for answers. And yet at the same time, data must be more open. Everything should be more open. Again, huge opportunity. Data that was squirreled away, inaccessible, will emerge out of particularly government. Again, we have already responded to that. We will continue to respond to that. We are looking at how we make more data more openly available, but also how we benefit from the fact that other people are making more data more openly available. There is more competition. We compete in a wider market that wasn't there. We are seeing substitution, the rise of what we call just good enough. And the bargaining power of the customer is much, much higher. The government recently announced Ordnance Survey would become a government-owned company on the 1st of April. Does that affect you in any way? No, it doesn't. It's just a change of wrapper on day one. We also, if you've noticed, have changed the brand a bit. The two are symptomatic of all those things I've just talked about. One of the things that we need to do is to be able to react to your needs much more quickly because of all the things I've mentioned. And this is part of that process. That was me earlier today opening the Financial Services Forum. Afterwards, I had a chat with Tony Boobier, a world leader in the use of business analytics, who shared his point of view on the big data revolution and talked about some of the latest trends that challenge today's businesses.
Oh, the trends in analytics are typically an improvement in the quality of visualization, increasingly the business user wanting access to analytics and of course the outcome from big data, but also that analytics are being more aligned to the business strategy and the outcomes which an organisation wants at any given time. One of the major challenges of financial services organisations in harnessing the Internet of Everything is really recognising the enormity of the change which will happen to organisations. Insurers will inevitably change. Banks, financial service organisations will inevitably change. They will be fuelled by much more information and insight than they ever had before. Decisioning will become increasingly quick, but also the information will become available at the point of business use, as opposed to being created by analysts in the back room. Location intelligence and location data is really a foundational part of the big data discussion. We no longer see location as being a side issue or a niche issue, but rather that it's one of the foundation components of the big data story. We talk in terms of the need for truthfulness and veracity, accuracy of information, and location data is one of the foundation stones of that whole big data context. Fraud management, both for banks and insurers, requires a holistic viewpoint, both in terms of proactivity, in terms of avoiding fraudulent behaviour, but also reaction in capturing that. Organisations require multiple tools and multiple capabilities to do that, and the location component is a key part of the tool bag. Organisations require three key competencies to drive competitive advantage. The first is around information management, in terms of how information and data are brought into the business and stored and organised. The second is around the skill set and the tool sets to actually extract the value from that data. And the third, arguably the most critical, is the issue of leadership and culture, so that organisations become data-driven, not replacing experience and insight, but recognising that data and analytics are key components in the decision-making process. External research by companies such as Nucleus indicate that for every £1 spent on analytical implementation, that an organisation potentially obtains £13 in return. What we find is that the return on investment occurs so quickly nowadays that almost the decision to go down an analytical route is almost one of emotion rather than will we or won't we. And the return on investment calculation is really the key issue in terms of where do we start the journey rather than do we do the journey at all.
One of our 270 strong team of surveyors, Angus Hemmings, demonstrates how we capture information and make changes to the master map of Great Britain.
We've got 270 surveyors in the UK who are making up to 10,000 changes a day to our database. So this is the type of equipment we use at the Ordnance Survey. GNSS, Global Navigation Satellite System. An ordinary handheld GPS, give you an accuracy of between 2 to 5 metres on a good day. This, when we dial into our AusNet network, which is a series of permanently fixed, permanently running GNSS stations, we can receive a network correction back which will reduce the accuracy from 2 to 5 metres down to somewhere in the region of 1 to 2 centimetres. I'm currently seeing 14 satellites and I've got a positional accuracy of about just over 3.2 metres. I can now dial into our AusNet network, and as I dial in, I've now got an RTK fix, a real-time fix, and we've got a positional quality of under 1 centimetre. So I'm now in a position to start updating the master map of Great Britain. The changes I make now are available potentially within 24 hours.
Chris Chambers tells us about the AddressBase suite of products and what is available beyond the coordinates.
The AddressBase suite is now 3 years old. In the last year and a half, we've made a lot of improvements to the coordinates within AddressBase products. So we've improved around 600,000 coordinates to make sure that they're in the appropriate building. And we've also increased the PAF, the Royal Mail postcode address file inclusion, to around 99% now. It used to be around 96% of PAF. So that's been the two key areas of focus for AddressBase. But we've also been focusing on getting the URPN into points of interest so that customers can more easily link the address-based data with the points of interest data as well. The address-based premium is the definitive property data set, so it's the most comprehensive, complete and current, so it tells you I am 10 the High Street and gives you a definitive answer about where it is, and it also tells you information on if it's live, if it's a provisional address or if it's a historic address. Whereas points of interest is a more business-orientated data set, so it tells you around who the occupier of a property is. So it will say, I am a bank at 10 High Street, or I am a restaurant there, and if I'm a restaurant, what type of restaurant I am, what the name of the business is at that property, what the website is, what the telephone number is, etc. So points of interest is very much the business data set and business information about occupier, whereas address-based premium is about the property and the life cycle of that property. So the future roadmap for location analytics is primarily focusing on two main things. The first is expanding the coverage of the address-based products beyond GB. So at the moment we provide data just for England, Scotland and Wales, but we're looking to expand that coverage to include Northern Ireland, the Channel Islands and Isle of Man, so that people can buy all of that data from one central place Ordnance survey in one product. The other area we're looking at is a more frequent supply of products to customers. So the minute AddressBase is provided on a 6-weekly epoch schedule, we're moving towards monthly, weekly, daily or even live data supply to customers. So that's the two main areas we're focusing on at the moment.
Addressing, and particularly data quality improvement, play a huge part in our API and services roadmap. Nick Turner explains.
Financial services organisations face a number of challenges with regards to data quality, data accuracy and data content. Poor data accuracy and data quality can lead to poor business performance, poor customer satisfaction and lead to problems with customer retention and customer acquisition. Technologically advanced companies are now exercising the benefits of the internet more widely, and we really are observing a move to cloud technologies and outsourced service delivery. By outsourcing your data assets to third-party experts, you can be sure that your data is in safe hands, easily integratable and well maintained.
David Ball explains the benefits of a new tool, ResilienceDirect, developed by Ordnance Survey with Cabinet Office. This delivers an interactive operating platform enabling Category 1 and 2 responders to gain a detailed view of an area affected by a major incident.
ResilienceDirect is a brand new system for the emergency planning and response community. It's aimed at Category 1 and 2 responders, so that's blue light services, central local government and also utility companies. All the organisations that are involved in responding to a major emergency to help them in their jobs and their obligations under the Civil Contingencies Act. It took 16 weeks to develop a working application from scratch right the way through to something that the customer was able to use. It was built using agile methodology, so we were able to build small bits at a time and deliver little bits of incremental change so that we could ensure we were delivering the right solution for the customer. ResilienceDirect users are benefiting in multiple ways. The system is introducing a new capability to help to share information. So from a user's point of view, you're getting your message across first time in a very accurate and coherent way. Also, this is the system that's benefiting multiple types of user, whether you're on the ground and you're actually responding, or if you're a minister or senior politician as part of the COBRA suite, you've also got a visibility of the same information. It's very complicated getting different organisations to join up and speak clearly to each other, and this is a common platform that's putting in place something that's going to make that far more effective going forward.
So I hope you found that a revealing insight into our world. To discover how your organisation could benefit from using OS data, please visit www.os.uk/financial services and keep an eye out for the next forum.